Honorable Chancellor, I have the honor to present His Excellency Mr. Gopal Baglay, High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, to deliver the convocation address today. Mr. Gopal Baglay, His Excellency, prior to the current assignment as High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka since 2020, His Excellency served as Joint Secretary in the Prime Minister's Office in India since 2017. Before that, His Excellency Gopal Baglay had served in various capacities in the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi, including as the official spokesman of the ministry, Joint Secretary, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran Division, Director in External Affairs, Minister's Office, and in United Nations Division and Deputy Secretary looking after Eastern and Central Europe. His Excellency Gopal Baglay served as Deputy High Commissioner of India in Pakistan from 2011 to 2014. Consular for Press Information, Culture in the Embassy of India, Nepal, 2005 to 2008, and in other diplomatic capacities from 1994 to 2002 in Ukraine, Moscow, and London. So I would like to invite His Excellency Gopal Baglay, High Commissioner of India, to deliver the convocation speech.
Most Venerable Mahasangha, the Honorable Chancellor, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rector, Deans of Faculties, Heads of Departments, Members of Faculties and Administration of the University of Colombo, dear students, their family and parents and friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka, Ayubovan, Vanakkam, Namaskar, Salam Alaikum, and a very good morning to all of you. It is indeed a very good morning, not only for those who are here to receive their degrees, but also for their friends and families and for all the members of faculty and the leadership of the University of Colombo. Because today, it is the years of hard work, dedication, your commitment, and your perseverance that has brought to you what you hold very proudly in your hands. All will hold it in a few minutes. If I say that this is a red letter day, it will not be an exaggeration, because many of you are indeed wearing red robes. Today, you are empowered. You are empowered with degrees, with post-graduation, with qualification. You are empowered with capability. You are empowered with confidence. And you are empowered to go out into the world and make even larger, wider, and stronger contribution to your country and to the humankind in the bigger sense. So I would like to first of all congratulate heartily all of you on your achievement, and also thank you, your families, because without your families, without our families, none of us can be where we are. And would also like to thank all your gurus, all your teachers who have nurtured your talent, your capabilities, and produced from seeds the plants and trees which will produce fruits and give shades in future to all those who seek the benefits of your capabilities. I also would like to convey my good wishes to all of you for a bright future, so that you not only become what you wish to become, so that you not only earn bread and livelihood for your families, but also fame and satisfaction for yourself, honor for your country, and well-being for the entire humanity. When you go out to the world, today's world is full of change, full of quick transformations. And in that, as the Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned in his opening remarks today at this August ceremony, education is a lifelong process. So I would also, while congratulating you and giving my good wishes to you, I would also suggest very humbly that you continue to keep the doors of learning open. Because, as you all know very well, formal education is only one part what prepares us for our future. The degrees that you have are indeed very, very important. But the wider education in life, which life itself teaches us, which our families, our parents, our gurus, their conduct, our friends, everything and anything in life teaches us, that is the learning. And it is that learning about which Atargama Rajguru has said, and you all know this, Ogatmana Shilpaye Mai Mature Kena. I don't need to render this into English for you. Similar sentiment is in Sanskrit. Vidya dhanam sarva dhanam pradhanam. Of all the wealth that exists, the wealth of learning, the wealth of education, the wealth of knowledge is the most prominent, is the most important. And in Tamil, Tiruvalluvar, the author of the famous Tirukkural, which is respected in India and the world and in Sri Lanka, he said, Kedil viluchelavam kalvi aruvarka madalla mattari avai, which means the wealth that never diminishes is learning, is knowledge. All others are not even wealth. So you have today this wealth, education, formal qualification, but even more importantly, I think it has inculcated in you a spark to go ahead and learn even more. Also, to share it, to share what you learned with others. That's how you are here. Our teachers have shared with us what they learned. They added to it, they shared that also. Tamaso ma jyotir gamay. O Lord, O Almighty, lead me from darkness to light, darkness of ignorance to light of education. How do we do that? Like in your tradition, in the tradition in India, we light lamp. How do we light lamp? We light lamp from another lamp. And that's how the light spreads. This is exactly how the light of education has spread to all of you, to all of us. And this is how the light of education shall spread in future also. So I suggest that the wealth you have, you preserve it enthusiastically. You invest this wealth wisely. You invest and enhance this wealth enthusiastically. And you share this wealth with compassion. If we do that, then I am sure the real purpose behind your education will be fulfilled. And the real purpose is not merely to earn the bread, because men or women, in fact, humankind, does not live by bread alone, and we all know that. It is important and very important, essential for our livelihood, but more important is our country, our family, our people, and how do we contribute to their good and well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, today, standing here, I am also conscious that it is a singular honor for me to be part of this august ceremony. I am indeed very privileged that the Senate, that the leadership of the University of Colombo, which is one of the foremost leading institutions, not only in Sri Lanka but in our part of the world, has given me this privilege to deliver this convocation address to you on a very important day in your life. In a sense, I feel part of your life. I'm very grateful for that. And I would like to convey my sincere thanks for that. When I say I feel part of your life on this important day, I did not mean me alone, not just as an individual, because I do hold, as you all have heard, an official position here, which is the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka. So in a sense, representing my country in Sri Lanka, in a very friendly, close neighbor of India, and India and Sri Lanka I fondly always prefer to call as civilizational twins. It is indeed a matter of even greater happiness for me that in some sense, today's day associates my country of birth, the country which I represent, to your country of birth, to your country, and a country in which I stand today. But this relationship between India and Sri Lanka, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, is something which has come down to us from our ancestors. Thousands and thousands of years of history, of civilization, of culture, of values, of diversity are embedded in this relationship. You all are too familiar with this, so I will not go into those details, but I would just like to mention two things. At the beginning of the event today, we sang the Sri Lankan national anthem. It is an ode to Sri Lanka Mata. And we in India, what do we call India? With affection, with respect, with love, Bharat Mata. We both see our countries, respective countries, as mothers. And Mahatma Gandhi once said, a person who respects his mother will always respect all mothers, because motherhood is the same for everyone. The second thing I wanted to share is there is so much of heritage in India's history, antiquity, and much of it comes from Buddhism. You all know the history, you all know the history of your religion. There are some brilliant students today who have taken their degrees in Buddhist studies, Pali and Sanskrit. In fact, Tripitaka was written in Pali language from Sanskrit in Sri Lanka. So you all know about that. I would just like to draw your attention that India's national symbol, the lion capital, comes from the pillar constructed by King Ashoka, the foremost pioneers to take Buddha's message to the world. And the chakra on Indian national flag reminds us of the Dhamma Chakra Pravartan, the beginning of the Dharma of wheel. So with these deep connections between India and Sri Lanka, it is natural that in today's times, we are among the closest of friends. And this friendship, I consider it my privilege, my good fortune. We have been able to express this friendship in the steps that we have taken to stand with our brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka at all times, and particularly in the challenges through which the people of Sri Lanka have gone through in the past few years. From the time of Easter Sunday attack, to the pandemic of COVID, and to the economic challenges, which many of them are consequences of COVID, India has stood with Sri Lanka solidly. You all are aware about the details, so I will not go into that. But I would just say that in what happened in the last few years is unprecedented even in Indian history. No other country in the world has received so much of support from India in a short period of time as Sri Lanka has. And also, when Sri Lanka needed it, India is the first country to come up with financing assurance given to IMF in writing according to the according to the format and with the specifications that IMF wanted. So we have, from our side, tried to open the way for Sri Lanka's quick economic recovery. And we have not merely tried to open that way, but also lead that process from the front. Our belief, ladies and gentlemen, is that by working with Sri Lanka on promoting more investment in Sri Lankan economy in the sectors of Sri Lanka's priority, which are infrastructure, energy, renewable energy, manufacturing, and education. This is how we will create more capacities in Sri Lanka for the long term. For us, for India, in your neighborhood, early economic recovery of Sri Lanka is not the only thing to cooperate for. For us, the larger objective is to continue the cooperation, in fact, build on it for rapid economic recovery and thereafter growth of Sri Lanka. And in that growth, all of you are going to be vital contributors. My last point, given the civilizational similarity, history, familiarity, sometimes we become oblivious of what is happening in each other. Familiarity sometimes means also that we are not closely following what is happening in the other country. I can assure you that common Indian people, when I go to India, I meet people, they're quite affectionate towards Sri Lanka. There is a lot of goodwill towards Sri Lanka, and they are following what is happening in Sri Lanka. I get so many questions when I visit India. But I would also request you to closely follow what is happening in India. What is happening in India today is unprecedented in scale and speed, not only in India's history, but in human history. I'll give you 3 examples. All of you would know that India has become a $3 trillion economy, the 5th largest in the world. Do you know how much time it took India to become a 1 trillion economy? 60 years. From 1947 to about 2007 or 8. The next trillion was added in 8 years, and the next trillion was added in 5 years. You see this speed? We have received so far a little under $1 trillion of foreign direct investment since independence, about $970 billion. More than 55% of this have come in, guess how much? Last 7.5 years. When in 2014, Prime Minister Modi launched the Digital India mission, India was ranked in terms of per capita data consumption a humble 122nd in the world, 122nd in 2014. Last year, no marks for guessing, India became number 1. Not only that, the amount of data consumed today in India per capita is more than amount of data consumed per capita in China and United States of America put together. Why I am mentioning these facts and figures to you? So that we understand the rapid scale and speed of changes in India. That is an opportunity. In India, 53 startups have converted themselves into unicorns, which means their wealth is more than $1 billion. And what the changes in India are happening are because of the energy of youth, the education of the youth. That's why our national education policy, which we have brought out in 2020, focuses not merely on formal education, but equipping our youth with the skills. The youth in India, which, as you know, India is among the youngest nations in the world, and so is Sri Lanka in terms of the percentage of population. Your generation will grow together, my dear friends, with your Indian counterparts. The future belongs to both of you together. For the next 60, 70 years, or even more, because our life expectancy is constantly increasing and it's a matter of great happiness. For the next 60, 70 years or more, I think it is the youth of India and youth of Sri Lanka which will drive the growth of not only their respective countries, but this region, and will also contribute to the greater well-being of the humankind. So with these words, I would like to once again compliment you on your achievements. I would like to once again convey my good wishes for your bright future. And I would like to once again thank the Colombo University and its leadership for giving me this privilege. And I would like to once again suggest to you that in your growth and future, consider India as an opportunity, because India believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is but one family, because India has the policy of neighborhood first, and our neighbors are welcome and invited to take full benefit of it. And because for India, Sri Lanka is a civilizational twin. Bahumai Stuti, Nandri, Dhanyavad.